So then this is a project that actually my mom commissioned this one. So she got this really cute like watering can, flower pot kind of decoration from a friend. And so she wants to get some kind of like fake greenery flower stuff to go in there. So I'll have to go to Hobby Lobby sometime and do a nice little video on figuring out what I'm going to put in this pot. I'm thinking probably like some yellow tone. Plus I think it'll go well with the green of the wall. So we'll have to see what I end up doing there. First came in the store, there's a big flower section and it kind of keeps coming along this main aisle. So back in the beginning of the store, there's really tall flowers, and so at first I was kind of thinking, well, maybe we could get some of the tall ones and cut them off. But then I got back here and I found that there's some shorter things that I think are probably going to work better, and there's also a lot of greenery, like these vines and things. So I'm going to look back here and see what I can find. Right now what I'm kind of looking for, right, thinking through just how the pot looks, probably white and or yellow. We've talked about maybe getting some hydrangea kind of look, just because it'd be nice and full to fill the pot. My mom also really likes sunflowers, so we're gonna look and see what we can find back here in the shorter flower section. Typical crafter's ADD happening as I'm here in the Hobby Lobby. Look at all the cute succulents, which, as you know, I have some of my own, but these are, you know, slightly less maintenance than what I've got, and they're so cute. I definitely like the live versions, but these are super cute too. Okay, these look super cute. Sunflowers. So the yellow, I really like it because it'll tie in with the yellow on the front of the pot, and it also has the white for contrast, just to kind of really brighten up the look of this pot and catch your eye. Let's see, I think I might do 2 of them. Let's see how crowded that looks. So there's that look. There's also some other ones here. There's these like pink ones. So if I did want to mix a different color in, I'd be able to separate these stems. Might need to use a razor blade to cut them apart, but I'd be able to separate the stems to mix all the flowers in together. Okay, so what we've decided after looking at all our options for colors in the shorter sizes, we're gonna go with 2 of these because this is going to really fill the pot in nicely. But what I probably will do is still cut them apart so that way I can really make it extra full and not quite so sectioned off. The next thing that I'm going to do now that I have our main feature of the pot is we're gonna look for some things to give it some height or some depth, either something that's tall in the back or something that trails in the front, just because the pot itself is kind of short and stocky and the flowers are kind of short and stocky. So we're gonna look for some things to give it some more shape and character. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here that's nice and tall, and there's some, I think I'm going to go with the white as the contrasting color just because we've already got a bunch of yellow from the sunflowers, and there's these cute ones with these flowers on it, but I don't think I really want to throw any more flowers into it. So then I found these, and what I really like about this is while it's too tall as is, if I trim it shorter, I can put it in the back and it can definitely fan out, and so that'll be really cool to shape it, but that'll add some height to the pot and just some character and create a nice backdrop for the bright of the sunflowers. So we're trying to find some leaves to go in the front of this pot, and so we found these sunflowers here. So we're thinking maybe use some of these leaves, but we're not sure what we're gonna go with.
We could do that. I kind of like these leaves, I just don't know if they're too
You think they're too big? See, I don't necessarily think they're too big, but I don't care for the look of these leaves because I like the other ones that we had over there. Here, hold up. Well, they were like other ones that were big. Okay, try the smaller ones, hold it up there. Because what we're thinking is we'll cut off the leaves. We're thinking we'll cut off the leaves and, you know, we won't use the rose or whatever, but to have some leaves and stuff of the greenery in the front. But we're trying to figure out which leaves we want. Okay, so I was about to film a clip and be all like, okay, I found my stuff, we're gonna go check out, and when I get home, I'll show you how I put it together. And then we saw more sunflowers. This is kind of a game changer because we found these bundles. Also, they're on sale. They're a little more expensive, but it's a whole bundle of sunflowers. And this might solve the leaf problem where they'd be the right size and they look like sunflower leaves and they match. So my mom found these. We're gonna see what we can make happen here. We're gonna check this out and try this out. And then when I get home, I will surprise you and show you what I actually ended up getting. Alright, so here is what we ended up with. We of course have the initial flower pot. This is the side that's going to be the front of the flower pot. We then decided to go with these sunflowers here so that we could get some sunflower leaves. Maybe we'll incorporate some of these sunflower heads, or we might just save those for another project. We have this really pretty white flowery stuff that's going to go in the back of the pot. And then we have these two cute little clusters that are going to fill up the middle of it. So before I even start, I want to think about how I'm going to actually arrange this and kind of look at things before I make any cuts. So with this pot, there's a couple things to keep in mind. First of all, whenever you're doing flower arrangements, I personally prefer a fuller look, but you definitely don't want it to be overcrowded. So it's all about finding that look. And I think overfilling is better than underfilling. So if we had just these ones in here, it'd be kind of sparse, especially if we cut apart this opening. But when we have two of them in here, it fills the pot really nicely, and we're going to arrange this so that way you'll be able to see more of the pot underneath. The second thing is we wanted to give this pot some height just because the pot itself is already so short and stocky, and so we wanted to give it some height and character with these greenery that's taller in the back. And then last of all, we grabbed this stuff for the leaves just to add a little more character to the front of it. So I am going to cut this part off so that way I can separate these flowers and stems and arrange it better. However, I want to preserve this cute twine here, so it's just wrapped around a bunch of times and knotted, so I'm going to cut it right next to the knot. And now I can just unwind it, and I'm left with a nice little spiral. So here we go. Now we've got our flowers and our stems. Now some of them are a little bit sticky from where the sticker was on them, but that's okay. I'm just going to rub that off. And I'm going to look how these sit in the pot by themselves without being connected, because I might want to put some stuffing or something in the bottom of the pot. I didn't buy any kind of foam frame because I figured that, hey, I can just cut up some newspaper or crumple some paper here for free instead of spending extra money on the foam. Which actually I feel like that's a good height, and I think once I start putting the second batch in, I think I'll be able to stack it up in the middle and give it some more height and some more character. Here's the look of the pot so far. I'll play around with the arranging of it a little bit, but I also want to get some of these leaves off of here so I can slide these leaves onto some of these stems to get them in the front there. So because of how this is attached, these leaves are on these like circular spots, and they can slide up and down the stem. So what I want to do is I want to cut the stems off right here. I'm just going to start off by taking off one. So I'm using regular scissors to cut around the plastic greenery, and then I'm going to get a pair of wire cutters to cut the wire that's inside. So here you can see that I use my trusty needle nose pliers with wire cutters in them to snap this one piece off. And now I'm able to hang on to the whole rest of the big bundle. Don't have to worry about that. I can save it for whatever kind of project I want to use in the future. And now my leaves will just slide right off the bottom. I take a little bit of playing with it to loosen it up. Also got a cute little sunflower here that's sliding off. And we'll put this little sunflower back on here. But the nice thing is, just like that, I have a total of 6 sunflower leaves that I can use, and I had to do hardly any damage to the big sunflower bouquet. So now if I look at the stem of the sunflowers here, this isn't quite going to fit on there, but we can see that this is just a tubing that slides right off, and then there's wire that bends underneath, and this will fit nicely right up there. I can slide it up or down as however far I need to, and that looks super cute. So I'm going to play around with this and get these flowers in here, and then we'll move on to adding the taller white flowers in the back. So here you can see we went ahead and we added the leaves right there in the front to the flower pot. So the last thing I want to do is add this to the back. Now if I leave it just as is, it's a little too tall because it doesn't go down to the pot well, and I want it to really fan out from behind. So I want to shorten this. Now the thing to keep in mind, again, there's a whole bunch of wire in here, and also this is holding it together. So I think I'll probably wrap this top part here with some floral wire, so that way it really holds well when I cut the bottom off. On second thought, instead of going through all the trouble of cutting it, I'm just gonna bend it right in half. Now, yes, this will break the paper on the outside, so don't bend it too high up where it might be seen. But I'm just gonna go right like that and nestle it in the back. So I'm pretty much done with that. I've got to take a tag off of this one that I just noticed I missed, and then we're gonna go put it on the mantle downstairs, and I'll show you the finished look. Oh, that's perfect. That's the one. That's the one. Bigger leaves, which I shall fan you. What is your problem? I just found all these great things.
Whatever art lines you, whatever art lines you.
20% battery remaining.
Well, you're still funny.